In the end, DeepSeek 4 has arrived and it's detailed in a 58-page research paper. And last of all, they're holding nothing back here. Honestly, I'm feeling a bit shy today, so I'll stick to the classic 2-minute papers microphone setup, but skip the camera. And this is one of the largest open and free AI models that we can use. And sorry, can you spot what a 1 million token context window in an open weights AI actually gives you if you ask? It to gulp down around 1,500 pages of dense documentation. It will manage it. But that was the main feature in Google Gemini, wasn't it? Back then, I was freaking out about it 2 years ago, and now getting this for free sounds totally absurd. And when I look at the Pro model, you've got to be kidding me. Its results roughly match those costing many $billion. Models from only a few months back, and now they're gifted to us mortals. I'm trying to stress the gift we're receiving right here has left me speechless. Is this heaven? What a time to be alive. And wait, there's a Flash model that's much smaller, and it's pretty competitive with the Pro. I mean, what's going on? And it doesn't stop here. This is just the beginning, as it keeps spitting out more. More text, and the new Pro model needs about 3 times less computing power than the old one. And the lighter Flash model uses about 10 times less computing power. What am I even reading? How is that even possible? Hey, fellow scholars, this is 2-minute papers with Dr. Kirian, and it does 3 things that are totally magical. 1 compression specifically for the KV cache, which acts as a scratchpad, where you store your prompt and include your documents. Imagine reading a book where you can find answers. It's way faster if you squeeze each paragraph into a single sentence and you keep the book. But now you can search it faster. They call it token level compression. But even these little summaries add up. So what do? Well, 2, we want to know the overall plot of the James Bond book. See if it's the one we read already. Well, of course, we check the table of contents to see if each chapter has a short name. We can grasp the whole story from that tiny piece of information. The paper calls it a 128. With just 1 compression, they call it heavily compressed attention, letting the AI now see the whole story at a glance. But researchers at DeepSeek say this level of compression still isn't enough. We need more. So think about it this way. If we want to search for a fight in the book, the table of contents helps a bit, but might not show us exactly where the fights are. So we check an index, a list of words and phrases, along with where they're located. All right, searching for a fight, and boom, the index shows us the top 5 pages that contain fights. This is genius, and they call it compressed sparse attention. So 3 layers of compression: summaries, structure, and index, and suddenly the 3 pieces click together. These 3 cut the memory needed for the KV cache by around 90%. I had to check that twice in squashing about 90% of 100 words into a 10-unit storage space. So you're saying we aren't basically losing every piece of information? Yes, that's precisely what they're saying. But we're fellow scholars here. We look at proofs and experiments now just to make sure this is KV cache compression. You still have to load the entire model, so that doesn't mean you can load the full DeepSeek Pro. Slapping AI onto a toaster, nope. Just want to double check because of all the media headlines and hype, And now hold on to your papers, fellow scholars, because this one delivers when they tested it by hiding 8 facts inside increasingly long context. So how well does it perform? Well, they say the Pro version recalls it better than Gemini 3.1 Pro, which is Google's flagship product. Whoa, that's crazy. But keep in mind that, like lots of other systems, it starts to break down as you get close to the limits of the context window. Then models forget, drift, hallucinate. More text means less truth. Also, let's look at the accuracy versus the previous copy. DeepSeek is special because this new version is heavily compressing. Things look at that. This is crazy. And it's also fantastic. When you code, being a coder is awesome. And if you weren't one before, you are now. So easy to ask for JavaScript code you can paste into a site and run. And in some situations, you can even launch programs in the DeepSeek window with a single click. I am a light transport. A researcher by trade, specifically into ray tracing, so to speak, so I had to give a little coding task related to that a try. And this is great, even though it still didn't manage to properly implement more advanced algorithms. So I'm also hyped to see what the next version brings, and it's crushing benchmarks. And the competition is low at that $3 price point. And if you self host it, they also offer online access to it. And it is so cheap that numbers are losing their meaning soon. Intelligence will become so inexpensive to meter that it won't matter if there's a discount or not. You can easily find pricing that's 30 times cheaper than Anthropic's Claude, even without any discounts. Things can get 8 to 20x cheaper crazy. Now let's temper expectations a bit. Limitations. That's the thing missing from the Koband. Media headlines that one can almost hear the 1500 pages fluttering as it churns through it. But hold on, I didn't mention 10 hours of audio either, or full feature-length movies. There's a reason for that, and the reason is that the system is unimodal. It's not multimodal, it has no images or audio, so it's effectively blind and deaf, and the system isn't fully understood. Even its creators report two techniques that magically stabilize training. And they say they're not really sure why there's a note that this is something that happens to every researcher. And I respect the transparency and the 3 points we mentioned. If you're pushing against the limits of those context window things, break down a bit. So be careful. I just want to make sure you don't get oversold on what cat. So what's happening here is that there are still limitations, big ones. But overall, this isn't a small step in open and free AI systems. Congratulations to the team and thanks. So much now, here's my take. I think this is a fantastic release and a fantastic paper. And good life advice too, because you can change. There are so many ideas for your thinking. Picture strolling through a forest where you want to take in the amazing views. You're facing forward, but then you stumble, or you gaze meanly down at your feet. So you don't stumble, you look down, or you take in the view, not both. So what's the answer? Well, you do both. Scan near glance for step hole and lock local detail global context. It works just like DeepSeek does. So give it a try next time when you're out walking. It's odd, let me know. In the context, I mean the comments on how it went. A method called ngram usually makes an AI recompute almost every fact from the ground up each time. But ngram just recalls those facts. It's not as simple as it seems. We've got a separate video on. The link is in the description, and we're still just scratching the surface here. This is a really advanced research paper with all the good and the bad, not just the hype. Also, this video wasn't super fast. I rewrote it over said and over again. Why is that? Well, because turning complex ideas into simple explanations takes time, so you get fewer views than others who post something as fast as possible, but that's what I try to do here. And it's an honor to do this for such an incredibly smart and receptive audience like you, fellow scholars. Really appreciate the support on this one, it made my day. So hit subscribe and smash the bell if you're enjoying this. Here I'm running the full DeepSeek AI model through a Lambda GPU. Cloud 671 billion parameters, running super fast and super reliably. This is insane. I love it. I use it regularly, and Lambda gives you powerful NVIDIA GPUs to run your own chatbots. And experiments seriously try it out now at lambda.ai/papers or click the link